Hey, it's Adam here, and you're watching The Culture Hack, where we're talking about how to create engaged workspaces that unlock the potential of your teams and drive your business forward in ways you've never seen. So stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to The Culture Hack. Today we have Michael Kerr, and I am super excited because he is a Hall of Fame speaker and author on workplace culture, which is totally my jam, and this is what the show is about. So welcome, Michael. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Adam, for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Fantastic. Well, Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into workplace culture? What is it you do now? And tell us all the amazing things that you do.
Sure. I don't know if I'll have time, Adam, for all the amazing. Well, really quickly, I worked in a soul-sucking, fun-sucking organization, and years ago, in another lifetime ago, and I realized I had to quit that job and do something else with my life. And because the culture was soul-sucking and fun-sucking, I decided to leave that job and make it my mission to research, write, and speak about inspiring workplace cultures, to talk about this idea that work shouldn't be sucking the life out of you, that work is one of the most important aspects of everyone's life. It affects our mental and physical health, our families, our marriages, where we live. It's a wee bit of a time sucker. And so rather than sucking the life out of us, I wanted to talk about how work should be an energizing, purposeful force in our lives. And that it should be fun, right? That work should be ideally fun.
Well, I mean, how much we spend more time at work than we do with our families. So
exactly, yeah.
There may as well be joy in it, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And that's been a lot of my focus. I've been doing this for 25 years. I wrote a book called You Can't Be Serious, Putting Humor to Work, and the Humor Advantage, Why Some Businesses Are Laughing All the Way to the Bank. And those books and a lot of my research focuses on the importance of bringing a spirit of fun and levity and humor into the workplace, both to create a more positive, inspiring workplace culture, but also there's a chicken and egg relationship there, right? It also reflects a positive workplace culture where people feel valued and respected, and you're doing all those things you need to be doing in a great workplace culture so that it becomes easy to just bring your sense of humor along for the ride.
I love that. I went into an office once, and it was a beautiful office with a great lobby and everything, but I was walking through the hallways and it was too quiet. And it just kind of like gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. I was like, you don't hear people laughing, you don't hear people talking, you don't hear, it was too quiet.
And, like a library, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, I would just feel so low energy here. Like I wouldn't, those moments by the water cooler, in that moment, you might not be producing, but then when you go back to your desk, your productivity is probably double, right?
For sure. And we know there's so many benefits in terms of being more resilient and managing stress and boosting morale and improving communication and improving creativity. Humor is a huge booster of creativity. We know from so much research.
Right. I love that. Yeah. So I always ask this question because everyone has a different answer, but engagement has become a bit of a buzzword. So when I say engagement in the workplace, I think I know the answer, but what does that mean to you?
Well, to me, it means that employees actually want to be there on a Monday morning. It's the simplest definition I use. Instead of feeling like they have to show up at work, they want to show up at work and they want to contribute. And I think to be engaged in the workplace, you have to feel like, first of all, you have a sense of belonging there. We know that's so important. I talk about that a lot in my latest book, how important it is for people to feel like they belong on their team in this organization, and to feel like they are co-creators in the future of their company, in the future of their workplace. How else do we expect employees to be loyal and want to share their passion and share their ideas and contribute if they don't feel like they belong, and if they don't feel like they can help co-create the future of the place that they are working in? So for me, that's the heart of engagement, is that sense of belonging and sense of contribution towards something that matters, having that common goal that you are working towards.
I love that. I like this notion that in business we're so good at finding intellectual solutions, process or spreadsheets or whatever, to what is essentially an emotional problem, right? People
Right,
are this emotional, messy being. So
right.
it requires an emotional solution, essentially.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's about remembering to put people at the center of the equation. That's what
Mhm.
an inspiring culture is all about, focusing on creating a more humane, compassionate people that works for people. If you are not putting your employees front and center in the equation, you are not going to have as successful a business as you would otherwise. You're simply not. Culture is your number one competitive advantage. It's the number one driver of success, but you have to be intentional about it, right? You have to be focused and intentional on it. As I say to my audiences all the time, great cultures don't just happen. You can't go buy it at IKEA, right? Even if you did, you wouldn't understand the instructions and you'd have parts left over that you wouldn't know what to do with. So you have to be intentional and you have to get everyone thinking about how they are contributing to your culture. It doesn't just come from the top down. Everybody has to have that mindset. What am I doing to make this a better workplace for my teammates, for my fellow colleagues?
I love that. Like every interaction either builds it up or builds it down.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You're either adding to your culture or detracting from it. Everything you
Right.
do, everything you say.
So, question for you: do you
Yeah.
have some examples or stories of how you've helped clients with this type of thing?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do a lot of keynote talks and a lot of workshops, getting people to really take a hard look at this current state of their culture and what the desired culture is in the future. And so, walking through different exercises to get them really thinking about what values are do they want to live? What values do they really want to live out loud, and are they really living them out loud? Because most of the time we aren't, right? And that's one of the key drivers of success, is making sure that those values actually mean something. And so, and I go into a lot of workplaces. I've researched workplaces all over the world, in Europe and Australia and South Africa and throughout the States and Canada, looking at what great workplaces do so well to drive success. I mean, one of my favorite examples is Beryl Health call centers in Bedford, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Now, it's a call center, right? 24/7 call center. Not the best reputation as a great place to work. In some markets, they have an employee turnover rate of more than 400%. Yet at Beryl, theirs is in the low teens. They have this phenomenal culture, this spirit of fun. Their receptionist has the job title, the director of first impressions. They do all sorts of theme days and contests and rituals and traditions. The human resources manager has the job title, the queen of fun and laughter. So they have this incredibly high energy, fun workplace culture, but they work at it. They make sure everyone understands, again, like I said earlier, that their job isn't just to do their job. Their job is to contribute to a better workplace that everybody wants to come in and contribute to on a Monday morning. And even though they're a very fun, family, positive kind of workplace culture, they hold employees accountable. And that's what we have to do. We're only as good as the worst behavior we tolerate in our culture. So they hold their employees to a high standard. They hold their employees accountable for contributing to a positive, fun culture.
I love that. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
as you've kind of interacted with more and more businesses, are you seeing a shift as people look forward? Are they starting to talk about it a little bit more? Are they starting to think about culture as something to be strategic with? Like, what are you seeing for the future?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go back even to 20 years, yeah, it was mentioned here and there, but not to the degree it is today. And I think it was the pandemic was a wake-up call for a lot of organizations who realized we got to get our act together where our culture is concerned. So I think it's top of mind for more businesses than it ever has been before. And businesses are recognizing that it's a competitive advantage. As I said, it's their number one competitive advantage, but they've got to focus on it. And one of the shifts I'm seeing, Adam, is that businesses are starting to integrate it more with their strategic plans. So, and we know that's key, right? We can't do a whole strategic plan and anymore, I don't think, and not talk about culture. The two things have to be integrated. So you've got to have a culture strategy as well as just a business strategy. So I've seen that shift for sure. And a huge shift has been the recognition that we need to hire for our culture. That has been a huge shift I've seen in the last 5-10 years, where companies are spending an incredible amount of time, resources, energy in making sure they're getting their hiring right, and hiring for attitude, and hiring for culture growth, hiring for people that are going to, yes, fit into our culture, but also grow our culture in the direction we want to move it.
Okay, I love that. So last question for you is, if there's one piece of advice you would give, if there's a business out there that's wanting to get into this, that hasn't really done much in this, what's the first thing for them to do?
Well, the first thing I think is just to remember that all of this starts with just being intentional about it. You've got to have it. You've got to have it on top of mind. So you've got to talk about it. You have got to start making every decision with your culture in mind. So ask yourself, will this help build the culture that we want to see, and does it reflect our desired culture? So you've got to integrate it as part of your day-to-day practice. And remember that it's not what you're doing, right? It's how you do the things you're already doing. So make sure, as I said, you get your hiring right, you get your training and onboarding right, that you are immersing your cultural norms with your employees so they understand what's important. They understand your purpose. They understand your values and what those suckers actually really mean. You have to translate your values into observable behaviors and stories and examples and bring them to life.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it. I love your energy, right? I'm all excited now for the day, so thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. And can I plug my latest book?
Oh yeah, tell us about your book. Let's
I need to, because
it.
it just came out, so I'm very excited. It's like a couple days old. It still has that fresh book smell. It's called Small Moments, Big Outcomes: How Leaders Can Create Cultures That Fuel Extraordinary Results. It is packed with 20 years of my research from around the world on what leaders need to do to be more intentional, purposeful with their leadership, and to build great workplaces that work for everyone. So I'm very excited about this book. Thank you, Adam.
Okay. No, me too. I'm definitely going to get a copy. So I can't wait to read it. And you can watch for my Amazon review when I'm done.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I know about this now because we did our collab book. So now I'm like, there's one.
Congratulations.
Reviews, right?
You contributed to a book that's just out, so I look forward to that as well.
Amazing. Well, thank you for your time here today, Michael. Really appreciate it.
You bet. A pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching The Culture Hack. Do you want to chat culture and engagement? Give us a call and come on the show.